a former soldier thought to be UK's longest-serving patient has died after spending 54 years at the same hospital. James Morris was admitted to hospital with a broken leg in 1962 but never went home after suffering a cardiac arrest on the operating table. He was left in a vegetative state after the operation and was moved to Wester Moffat Hospital in Airdrie, North Lanarkshire. The Army veteran, who could only say 3 words, died in April aged 75. His brother Karl Morris, 62, said a member of staff from Wester Moffat had suggested that no one had been in care in a single hospital longer than James, who was just 21 when he was admitted. Karl Morris, from Coatbridge, said, "Over the years we found a way to communicate with him. He was older mentally but couldn't communicate with us at all. He only ever learned how to say 3 words again, his 3 loves, home, pub and horses. We often took him on holidays in Britain and the hospital knew how much he loved the pub so they would even take him there now and again." James Morris was serving in the Scottish Rifle Regiment, the Cameronians, in Germany when he was injured in a car crash. He only broke his nose and thigh bone in the crash but part of his brain shut down during the operation on his thigh. Helen Ryan, senior charge nurse at Wester Moffat, said, "Our condolences are with Jimmy's family at this time. Having spent such an extraordinarily long time at the hospital, Jimmy touched the lives of many. He was a good confidant and a great character and he will be sorely missed by everyone at the Heather ward." Wester Moffat Hospital confirmed Mr. Morris had spent 54 years in their care after spending 2 years in other hospitals. Outstanding care. An NHS spokesman said they were not aware of anyone having spent longer than 54 years in an NHS hospital. Karl Morris has praised the unbelievable staff at Wester Moffat for the care they gave his brother. He said, "Everyone at the hospital was outstanding. To care for a man throughout his entire life is quite something and we couldn't be more grateful to the NHS. It was a place for young disabled people and over the years I've seen countless patients and staff come and go. We made sure he got out over the years to live as fulfilling a life as possible and even right up to the week before he died we brought him home to visit." An Army veteran who spent 54 years in one hospital after suffering brain damage during an operation has died. James Morris, who was 75, was admitted with a broken leg in 1962 but was left permanently disabled after a cardiac arrest on the operating table. It's believed his 54-year stay in Wester Moffat Hospital in Airdrie was the longest by any patient in a single UK institution. James, who died on Easter Sunday, could only say 3 words but his brother Karl, 62, said the family had found ways to communicate with him. Karl, from Coatbridge, added, "He was older mentally, but couldn't communicate with us at all. He only ever learned how to say 3 words again, his 3 loves, home, pub and horses. We often took him on holidays in Britain and the hospital knew how much he loved the pub so they would even take him there now and again." James was just 21 and serving in the army in Germany when he was involved in a car crash, breaking his thigh bone and nose. It was during an op to repair his thigh bone that he suffered brain damage. He spent a short time in 2 hospitals before being moved to Wester Moffat. Senior charge nurse Helen Ryan said, "Having spent such an extraordinary long time at the hospital, Jimmy touched the lives of many. He was a good confidant and a great character and he will be sorely missed." James had been in declining health in recent months, with throat problems making him unable to eat and drink. An NHS spokesperson said yesterday they were not aware of anyone having spent longer than 54 years in an NHS hospital. Karl praised the staff who looked after his brother during his hospital stay. He said, "Everyone at the hospital was outstanding. We made sure he got out over the years to live as fulfilling a life as possible and even right up to the week before he died, we brought him home to visit. My dad died at 41 so my mum raised us on her own and would always visit James and when she died, my sisters and I took over. I can't imagine anyone has ever lived so long in an NHS hospital.